Hello everyone. Oh my goodness. It is Friday morning and I'm a couple minutes later than normal. Sorry about that. I had to get my dog taken care of before I came over. And not only that, but I needed to pick up my garbage can. I have a big recycling bin outside that blew away. I had to go get it and drag it back to my house. The wind is crazy today, but it is sunny, so I can't complain about that. Anyway, today is kind of a show and tell day, just a little bit of a show and tell day. I have spent some of my time yesterday evening watching amazing updates from, I'm going to put some lotion on while I chat, you guys, so you're not going to see my hands. But I had some great updates for some of the new product coming out in the new catalog. And if you remember, I said the new catalog is not going to be an annual catalog, but there's going to be like 3 catalogs during the year. Love that system. You know, Close to My Heart did something kind of similar. We had a catalog, basically every other month. I think it might have been every 3 months. So 4 times a year. But it was amazing to have all that new product over and over. It's just great. The sneak peeks, yes, amazing, so exciting. I so far am a little disappointed to see so many flowers, but some of you will be so excited to see them, and so I'm excited for you. I love florals, but my scrapbooks are not full of florals only. My scrapbooks are full of tons of things. And I know you can use their florals in a lot of different ways, but sometimes I just don't want to be that creative. I just want to do a page and have it come to me really simply. I don't want to have to be creative. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I was digging through things to decide what to purge and what to keep. And I found this and I just thought I'd share it really quick this morning. With Close to My Heart, Jeanette's husband, David, had liked to do woodworking and things, and he made this wooden plaque, and then you would get hearts every 5 years. That it's like a piggy bank. It's got like a slot in the top, and then you would like drop your hearts into it. You can pop this apart. I see you can kind of pop it apart and paint it. You could stain it. You could do whatever you wanted. I personally have had mine for a long time, and I've never known what the heck to do with it. I didn't want to hang it on the wall. It just felt weird. And so I've taken a lot of pictures of it, and I think I'm going to scrapbook about it, and then I know it's terrible. Throw it away. I keep thinking I can repurpose it somehow, because, I mean, look how nice it is. Maybe I can put my cross stitch on it or something. I don't know. All I know is I need to do something. But I would be getting my 30-year hearts this year. And so 30 years is a long time and it's hard. But so I've been reminiscing just a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh yeah. And in addition, they, for your 20th anniversary, they would make you your own stamp set. Isn't that amazing? So it has your name, lots of little celebration things, a 20-year star, and then when you hit 25 and 30 and so on, you would get like a stamp for the New Year's. And look at this, it's untouched. It's like gold. I'm afraid to open it. I've never even used it, but I love it so much. So I'm thinking about getting out at least my names and using them. You know, it's just a memory thing. I just love it. But I just thought I'd show you that because it's kind of fun. The other things I wanted to show you, okay, I got an order yesterday, and you can see my reflection in the paper. That is hilarious. I look like I'm totally talking to myself. Thank you for being here. I got this order, and this is that kit with the clipboards. And I opened it up yesterday really quick just to see the sizing. So you get, I'm just gonna move there's a third one in there. I'm just gonna move it out of the way a minute. So you get, I have a pile of stuff to show you. It's ridiculous how much I have over here on my desk to show you. I don't want it to slide off. All right, so this clipboard, you can see there's like a plastic frame that helps them stand up. They're nice and sturdy, thick. It's not really a kit. In my opinion, this is a product, but they put it in as a kit, which is weird, but this one is 6 by 8, and this one is 5 by 7. So you get one of these and two of these, and I just grabbed one of my cards from my pack just so you could see, like you could totally put that on your, something decorative on your clipboard and just, you know, have it in your room. Wouldn't it be fun to make a monthly calendar or show off your favorite card, you know, in your craft space or even in your living room or something? I mean, just think of the possibilities. And look at this, your kids' artwork, if it's small. It is so perfect. It's so perfect. So I splurged. I thought these were a little pricey, and now that I have them, I'm like, these are not like something I could create myself super easily by buying, you know, any old clipboard. These are, to me, these are decorative. They're not like clipboards that you're going to be using as a clipboard. So you have to get creative, think about what you want to do. I thought about putting my cross stitch on here. Photos, like just put a monthly photo on there, something to hang in your house or put on a shelf. It's really cool. I'm happy with those. All right. So that's a new thing. Another newish thing that I ordered. Okay. So this is called Luster. What's it called? Lunar Luster. And I don't know why they called it that, other than maybe, maybe it was supposed to go with that moon set or something. It's silver matte, but you can see it's still a little shiny. It's got a non-glossy finish, and this is it is a little thicker than DSP, but it's fairly thin, like you could fold it, not heavy enough to make a card base. It's more of a layer weight. But what I've already, I don't even know how many pages you get out of each pack, but I've already started using it. I think you get 3 or 4. I think 3. Let me check. 4. You get 4. I've already used over half of this package, and I realized I wanted to do another big project, big scrapbooking project. And so I went ahead and ordered a second pack because I don't want to do without it. And there's so many sets right now that can use this. You could use this for your barbecue grill set. You could use this for your moon set. You could use this for the garden, the little gardening pieces, the spade and all of those. I have that in my upcoming, I have that in an upcoming video. This is cool paper, and it's, you know, sometimes I almost always buy the specialty metallic type paper because I use it. I actually use it. Even if I cut it in slivers and just use it as a sliver on a scrapbook page, I use it. So it's worth the money for me. I also ordered a new pack of scrapbooking protectors because I am not running low, but I realized I am going through these things like water lately because I've been throwing photos onto my naked layouts. That's been like one of my behind the scenes projects, getting some pages done and into albums, and I'm always afraid of running out. So if I'm ever kind of wondering what to put on my order to hit a certain mark or to max out my shipping, this is what I like to add. I like to add page protectors. And then as I was throwing my, as I was kind of throwing my, you remember this page? So as I was kind of putting things into page protectors, I realized it's been a while. It's been a long while since I showed you how I put flip-flaps in my page protectors. I used to wait. I would clip these to the page, and when I put them in the page protector, I would attach the flip-flap to the outside. And then everything, you know, there's no work involved or whatever. But what I found is that I had a batch of page protectors where the flip-flaps kept falling off a long time ago. This was probably, yeah, well, it was over 12 years ago because I just got a memory on Facebook about the trip that I had scrapbooked for that. And so I thought, well, I started putting them on, I started doing them this way because I feel like they're more secure when they're stuck to paper, those flip flaps. You can stick them to the plastic though. A lot of people do and never have a problem. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna real quick show you. I'm putting this page in the protector. Sorry, it's really hard to do on camera sometimes. It's hard to do on a normal day sometimes. But here is my only flip flap on this page, and it's down here at the bottom. And I find that ballpoint pens work really well, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna find the corners of your flip flaps. So here and here. And what I like to do is I like to draw a dot, and it doesn't have to be, it helps if your ballpoint pen actually writes. Okay, I like to put the dot on the outside upper, like on the outside, so it'll be a little bit wider than your page or your flip flap, and up just a little bit, not too much, pretty much even. And then you can take your page back out to do this if you want. I'm gonna slide it out just so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna zoom in just a little. Brace yourself. All right. Not a lot. I have this cutting mat. If you don't have a cutting mat like that, just use a piece of really sturdy cardboard. Okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna put it in so that you can see your dots. So here's a dot, right? And then I just use a ruler and cut from dot to dot. Now, I just use my blade and cut from dot to dot. I've never ever had one go whoop and rip, you know, keep ripping. But if you are really worried about that, one thing that you can do, if you have such a thing, I have this Japanese screw punch because I make a lot of mini books, and this is like a book making hole punch, okay? It's supposed to go through mega thicknesses. It's super strong, and it's a drill. And sometimes you can put a hole or an X at each end, and that'll keep it from ripping. If you worry about that, I do not worry about those kinds of things. I just thought I'd show you a way to prevent that by putting a little hole there. You don't have to do it. All right, let me put that away. And then when you slide your page back in, right, the idea is to kind of catch that slot and your, all right, slide. It's early, no coffee yet. Okay, but you can see now, I slid it back in, and now I have this flip flap on the outside of my page. I have this strip. Every now and then, if I make the slot too high, sometimes I'll go back in here and just cut just another sliver off, make it flip easier. But, you know, like if it overlaps too much. But yeah, I just hardly ever have to do that. I mean, really. It works pretty well. And so this is how I do it. The hardest ones are the ones that go vertical, because then you've got to maneuver, you've got to maneuver your photo in through the slit so it'll lay sideways, right? That's the only hard part about doing it this way. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you that. Another thing that I ordered is the clear medium envelopes. Now, clear envelopes are nothing new. You guys have probably seen them before. And yes, you can use them to mail. I believe they may cost more to mail, if I remember right. Why is there not an opening? Oh, there it is. Okay. In this pack, you get 50 envelopes. I can't remember how much I paid for them. But what's really nice about these is they're exactly card size. So if you're somebody who does swaps, I'm going to zoom back out because I have a tendency to lay stuff everywhere. If you're somebody who does swaps and you're doing a swap card or something and you need a sleeve to put it in, this is a great product. And yeah, there are other places you can buy them, and that's fine, do that. But I just wanted you to know they do have them at Stampin' Up. And the other thing I use these for, sometimes I use these for card kits. So like when I'm having a class, everybody will get a card kit and I'll put all this stuff inside of the envelope. And that way you get an envelope and you can see what the card is on the inside. That's kind of a nice thing, especially if I'm doing a class that has multiple cards. And I don't know, I really like these. I like to store some of the cards that people have sent me that are really meaningful in a sleeve, just to keep them special, you know, just a little something. So that's just another little thing that I ordered. Okay, and then in my purging, one of the things that's driving me crazy is, hold on, let me grab something real quick. Okay, this is driving me crazy. You know how I am. I get out a stamp set and I make tons and tons of things. So, for example, here's a bunch of the lobsters, and I made all these panels for seashells, and then I remember I cut a bunch of seashells out of them. Remember that? And then that whole seashell set is so amazing from last year. And then I have all these parts and pieces, and some of them are small enough I can just store them with the set they came from. And some of them are so much like this, where I did a whole bunch of swirled backgrounds and different backgrounds and stuff, and some of them they're just so much to store. I haven't figured out how to store it yet. If any of you have a great idea on this, you let me know. I had it in like a little kind of flip file style fridge bin, and I found that I never really went back to it, storing it that way. I really need to figure out a way to store it with my theme, so that when I open up things to do things with beach and water, this is right there. And I'm like, oh, look, I have some made, you know? Anyway, so I went through and I purged that. This is the only collection I kept. The beach collection's the only one I kept other than Alphabet. And so I'm still looking for a way to store, but I did find a whole batch of the vegetables and crates. Remember those from last year? The little crates and vegetables, they were all cut. All of this was cut already. And I just was like, okay, I'm just going to throw together some cards really quick. And then this paper is from that free fruit pack from when they did the, what's the free Stampin' Up, oh gosh, the sale that they have at the beginning of the year. Dang, my brain is not engaged yet. Celebration. It was one of the fruit papers. This is the back side, and it worked great with these. So I'm purging, I'm stash busting, I'm cleaning, and making cards. So I wanted to share those. And then this was in my stash. I had a whole bunch of those. Remember those flowers? I made like a scrapbook page. I really loved it or whatever. I had this frame in my stash. I did not make anything new to make this card other than grabbing a card base. These were just things that I just had sitting around, and I just threw this card together, and I'm like, ooh, this card is cool looking. I love it. And so I thought that was really nice to be able to do that. Using my stash. My other stash, I have this word happy, and I have the cameras from the past. And we have that new camera set. And so I was like, well, maybe I will just use this. Maybe I'll just use this to make a really cool camera page or something. I haven't used it yet, but I will. I'll figure it out. Another thing was that people have been asking about my circus. I keep talking about having a circus theme of stamps, and I do. And so I took them and I made another never-ending card using my circus stamps just to show you what kind of thing I'm talking about. It's not crazy. So I had this like happy birthday in a circus sort of font. These are Club Scrap images, but you know, we have that whole amusement park set. I haven't even gotten it out to play with it yet, and I love it. And then I just used, here like polka dots and the word fun in that circus font just multiple times. That's fun. There's much to celebrate. And I don't know, lots of stars, and I don't know, it's just kind of a fun card. And I keep thinking this would be a really fun card to get as a birthday card. And so this is my Club Scrap birthday card, swap card that I am sending for this next month. I just made a whole bunch of these. While I was on the roll of making never-ending cards, I just made a bunch. And the other things I found in my stash, I found this background that I had made, I would say last year or year before. Remember the moon set? I don't even remember which stamp set this was, but I used this for. But I remember making this and making a scrapbook page. And I had two of them because I used one on the page and then I had this extra. But this is very similar to making the background in that, basically started with like a light gray cardstock and then just started sponging ink and putting splooshes on and making it look modeled. This one has water splatter, and you could totally do that on the moon as well. But I just thought that was kind of a funny find since I had just made all of those little spaceman cards. Okay. All right, I'm backing out of my photos so you can see this. I'm trying to arrange my camera a little bit so I have a little more space. Okay, so this paper, hold on. I got like 2 packs of things to show you. And this one is, I can't remember the name of it. It just blanked. Where's Heather? Christy, you might know. Anyway, this paper right here is a paper pack currently available. It is absolutely stunning. Oh gosh, I keep thinking it's called Lovely something, but I'll look it up. I'll put it in the comment. I'll put it in my comment. But basically what I did was I went through, oh, my ribbon moved. I went through my papers and I cut them up, and I did a stash buster on this set, and it may not look like I should have done it on camera, honestly, but what I do a lot with, especially with florals, is I stash bust them by cutting strips. I'll take my favorite papers and make them the star of the show. And then I work around it with the softer papers that I may not like as well, or the ones that I need to, are going to be a little more hidden behind photos. So you can see, like, I could easily, put a photo here. I have mats cut so that, and clipped so that if I have horizontal or vertical photos, I can, do something over here. I could just put one photo here and decorate, right? So my layout is generic enough that it can become whatever I want. And I love using up a paper pack to do this, okay? So this is basically this paper and this one. And I added a lot of cardstock to make it work because, you know, when these pages are the papers are busy. They're very busy. And so you need to add the cardstock to calm down the pattern a little bit. Delicate Dreams. Thank you, Christy. This is the very first paper pack I bought, and I don't know why it's taken me so long to work with it. But when I was going through my papers and things that are retiring, I saw this pack and I'm like, what is wrong with me? I haven't used this yet. And I really wanted to use up this ribbon. This ribbon is retired. It is the silver edged ribbon, and it's in like Misty Moonlight. And I bought it at Christmas because, remember, it kind of went with that post office postal stuff. I used it a lot with that paper. And I loved how it looked with the silver edge. Look how much of it I still have. I'm like, okay, they need to start making their ribbons less. I don't want tons and tons of ribbon. I don't care if I have 10 yards of ribbon. I'm totally happy with 2. I don't need so much. I'd rather I could get a little of it and make it, you know, use it up and not store it. But anyway, it worked great on here. Instead of cardstock, I just used the ribbon. But this is another really great way to stash bust, right? These are exactly 4x6, so I would have to cut a photo down just a little bit, but it worked with my paper. I was able to use it, and then these would hold like a 3x3 or 3x4 photo. Places where I could put titles. And I love that Secret C. Are we all in love with Secret C? And then here is the next one. I'm like, did I skip a page? Hold on. Oh, please. I think this one went. I think I made a single page one. The fact is they can all go together because they're all the same. These two went together. They're all the same paper packs, so you can mix and match them to what you need. But I made them generic enough so that I can do my 4x6 photos, and I could do a 5x7 if I want, or I could do 2 4x4s here. I can stamp on this and add a design. I could add a brown mat or a green mat, and that would look great. Even a Secret C mat right there would look really nice. So I really love having these like stash busting layouts. And my favorite, of course, is this. I love this paper. I love this color. And it's a new Stampin' Up! In color. And it will be coming very soon with the new catalog. And this was their sneak peek of that color. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of, you can see it's a little bit of a softer shade of Misty Moonlight. It's kind of a purpley blue. In Close to My Heart World, I think it's very close to Periwinkle. When I'm going to buy it, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know. You may have something like it. It's also kind of similar to Bluebell. Bluebell was like one of my all-time favorite colors. Misty Moonlight and Bluebell are very much alike. But I just wanted to show you what I've been up to. And so this one was a stash buster of that paper. I don't have any of it left. I used all of it. The few tiny scraps that I had left, I did throw away because they weren't even enough to make a whole like card. So, all right. Looking for a place to set that down without it falling over. And finally, I wanted to show you this beach time. I know a lot of demonstrators have been showing cards made with this beach time paper, and it's just so beautiful. But I wanted to show the actual scrapbooking workshop and kind of talk about it in how I'm going to use it, because I don't go to the beach. And so, well, I haven't for a long time anyway. I mean, other than Disney, if you want to call that a beach, like, you know, we stayed at like the beach club, and so it was right outside the beach, and the pool is a sand beach, and those pictures are amazing and they work great. So here's the layouts. That's layout 1, layout 2, and layout 3. And I'm going to keep that here so that I can show you the layout that I made and what I added and what I left off. Okay. So I got a stack here. Sorry, it's a big stack. Try to quit. My sleeves keep knocking the pages around. Sorry. I got baggy sleeves on because it's cold again. Okay, so it's exactly the same cuts, exactly the same sizes. I did not change anything. I even put the extra pieces in the same place. What I did not do, I did not add this whole set of titles and pieces because I wasn't sure what title I wanted on here. And I really think this would be, for me, an amazing pool layout, or like we have a backyard pool. That would work. It would be great. I have older pictures of the kids playing in the pool. That would be great. Or playing in the sprinkler. It would work. The other thing I could do, and I'm thinking about, is I've done a lot of my last Disney trip around the hotel and stuff where the water would work. But if I put a giant Mickey head right here with a title, I really think that this would become a Disney layout. I can make anything into a Disney layout without using Disney paper, and then I'm not trapped into all the Disney paper is the same color, and I go to Disney often enough that I get tired of scrapbooking in the Disney papers. The colors are just always the same, always the same. All right, here is layout number 2, and I think it's my favorite. This reminds me of Vegas. I don't know why. It reminds me of going to Vegas. I think it's these little funky stars that are on it. I'm not sure, but it's got a retro vibe to it. And oh my gosh, this would be such a great trip layout. It's just great. I changed nothing, I don't think. I think everything on these pages is exactly how I did it. So I love the funky vibe. And I even thought, you know, it might even be fun to add black photo mats. It may be too harsh, but I think adding black to this would even make it more outstanding. And then the third one I think the first one is the one where I changed it the most. Okay. Oh no, I changed this one a little bit too. Because, okay, so the third one, I'm going to use for some California. My father-in-law lives in California, and Steve's got a bunch of California pictures. This is perfect. Perfect for it. And his pictures are a lot of scenery, which I don't like to cut down. One of the things about this side is they used 2 like 3x3 photos. Those are really small. And to me, my layout, I like the artsy look of it. But it really is about the pictures, not the layout. So what I did was I added a 4x6 and a 4x4. And it covers up some of the palm trees, but you still see palm trees. I think you still get the vibe, and it's going to be covered. I don't know. I got a frog in my throat, you guys. Sorry. Hold on. I'm really glad that I got out water this morning. I usually can't eat or drink this early in the morning. I have to wait. But I'm glad I got out water. Anyway, even if you had to cover this up and put a third photo in there, who cares? It's still a great layout, right? So you cover some of it up. Not the end of the world. So I like naked layouts a lot. If I have to cover up the decoration, you cover up the decoration. If I needed to add another photo down here, I just would. Okay? I just would. And I wouldn't care if that was covered, because it's more about the photos. But I really do like this a lot. Let's see. So this is a great scrapbooking workshop. This is a 3 2-page workshop. Now, I had a lot left, you guys. I had a lot of paper left and a lot of titles left. And look what I had left. This is insane. So I added white cardstock and, of course, the, what color is that? Help me. Is that Calypso Coral? I think it is, because I've been using a lot of that lately. Seriously, why don't I know my colors yet? It's Strawberry Slush. And so Strawberry Slush is one of those ones that's going away, but I really love how it looked on here. And I used my scraps that I had left from this. Look at that. Now, there's nothing on here. What's it for? What are you going to use it for? Well, you know that grilling thing? Wouldn't it be fun to have the barbecue grill? And I mean, it's a summer thing. Yeah, not till next year. You're right. But it's not going to stay forever. It's one of my favorite colors. I really like it. The in colors bother me because they're coming and going, and so I'm always on the fence about whether to invest. But this is one that I invested in that I really love. So, yeah. I'm using it a lot. And so it works great with this one. Any of the colors would look great. I was happy to have so much of the stripe left, because the stripe is my favorite pattern in this package. I like the water too, but the stripe is really fun, and you can do so many things with it. You have kids and they're just hanging out and playing. There you go. You have when we have a ton of pictures of us as kids, like just outside sun tanning, hanging out, playing ball, playing games in the yard with our friends. Those kind of photos would be great on here. Arts and crafts time with your grandkids, whatever. It's really great. I knew you would ask. Hold on a minute. I've got to move some of my I got to move some of my stuff to get to it. So if you just buy the paper, this is the paper pack. You get the ombre. The back of it is the amusement park. Then you get this kind of pink ombre. The back of it is this. This is my least favorite. I'm not sure why. I think it's dark. I think it's because it looks dark. I know there's fun things you can do with that, but to me, I'd almost want to put night things on there or something. Cloud print. The back is the sunshine. Another cloud print. Different cloud print. Different colors. The back of it is the water. Then you get the twinkling. What I look at this and think of twinkling water, but it could totally be, you know, snow. It could totally be lights, like, you know, at night how they have those lights that are draped. Like if you went out to eat or something and you sat on a patio, this would be great for that kind of. And the back. What's nice about this one is you really could cut this into pieces and you'd have like 6 cards right away. Boom. You could just add a few pieces to it. And then you get the twinkling water print in blue. And the back is this ticket cutout piece. It doesn't punch out. This is a fussy cut piece, or you could just use it as is in strips. I mean, think about if you didn't want to fussy cut these tickets, you could totally cut this down into stripes and use it on a page for when you go to the fair or to a movie or, you know, a concert or whatever. You could totally use it that way. That's it. Yeah, so the stripe is the one. Well, it's really weird to me that they would put the stripe as the special thing to the workshop and then not use it. And I mean, this was the only place it was used, I think, if I remember right. So, I don't know. Kind of neat pages though, don't you think? And it was really fun to play with. This is what I have left out of the scrapbook workshop that I have not used. So I kept all the little, you know, I don't typically use these, and especially since I can look at something and I just put my own photos on. I don't necessarily need the direction of put on a 3x4, put on a 4x4. I'd use them once in a while. They're really nice to use if you don't want, like when I made that extra layout, like if you don't want to add white cardstock or something, you could cut these down and use them as photo mats. I do that a lot, but I had all of these left. I also use these to stamp and cut out images as scrap paper. I had a lot of, okay, so all the white cardstock that I'm showing you was cardstock I had left over from the kit itself, from the workshop, not from my stash, okay? And then there's So all of these were like little pieces and parts from the workshop. And I have a couple of these really cool water and cloud prints. I thought about making a pool page or something. It wouldn't be too hard to incorporate this onto this page if you wanted it to be more water themed, right? But I did not. I don't do a lot of water things, so I did not. But you can see how much I had left even after I made that 4th page. Stickers. Okay, so I cut this little photo thing is a part of the layout. There's one right here, and there's one, I think that's one right there. And basically it's like a photo frame, but 3x4. That's really small. And so I cut the top and used the tab, but I kept these to show, I guess, to show you, because I probably won't use them. I had a little bit of that stripe left. And look at all the die cuts. Remember, I did not use the beach day. Here is the sun that was popped out. It's a die cut piece. And we just cut out the letters. Okay, if you look right there, punch out letters and use the letters, but you still have the shell or the negative. I did not use all of the words. I cut my sticker sheet apart because I have a tendency to, when I sort my pieces into my piles for the 3, I like to cut my sticker sheets apart and have them, and not be searching and not forget to use parts of the sticker. And so I ended up with you can't see it very well, but there's little white diamondy stars on here, and there's several of those. There's some ferns, some shells. I thought those looked a little cartoony. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about them. That's why I didn't use them. And I didn't use beach and pool because I did not know. I did end up, you know, you cut your sticker sheet apart and you end up with some strips left. But look at all of these. One thing that was really interesting is part of this kit, it has this part that you use, and then it left behind the little dots after you used it, and then you could use the little dots as decoration like gems, but they're flat, right? It was kind of interesting. So that's what I had left, and I thought I had a lot left, actually. I think I might throw it together with that other paper, you know, the coordinating paper. This is just the piece that it, you know, the cardboard that it came with. So what's next on the agenda besides these? Well, I would really love to spend a little time using some of the stamp sets that are current and decorating these pages and finishing them off, because I know a lot of you look at naked pages and are like, you want to finish, you want them done, you want them ready to go in books. And I store, and I have stacks of naked layouts so that when I order my photo prints, I just lay out the layouts that I think will work, and then I toss the photos on, and then that's a whole separate day for me. That's a whole separate craft for me, is to take photos and apply them and tell the story and put them in a book. The putting them together is just so much fun. I have so much fun making these pages. to me, it makes it harder if I have to have photos for them right away, because I just don't scrapbook that way. But it is fun to have them have an idea of how you're going to use them. I mean, like if I was going to use this with my pictures of my dogs and cats, I could use that cutest crew and decorate this page. If I wanted to I could do Boardwalk Fun, and this could be us going to the fair this year. We always go to the state fair. I could totally do something with those tickets. What else do I have? The cute, sweet, lovely day, good day for a picnic or for baking or whatever. Totally would work on this. Actually, I think almost any of them would work for a picnic. I think the barbecue set would look great on here. The cool thing about getting like the barbecue set is that most of the time when you see barbecue stuff, it's like a black grill, an orange flame, a red or blue mat. These are, you don't have to stick with those colors. You could totally make this different colors. Why not teal for the grill and have it coordinate with your stamp set that are with your page? There's no reason why you couldn't. I think this set could work with this. Can you imagine if you did the moon and back thing in like a rainbow moon? You could do it in the teal color up in the corner and love you to the moon and back, and you could have pictures of you and your family, and you could put the little planets and the little space guy on here with the stars. How fun. It would totally work. I hope you can envision things like that. I probably just need to cut out a whole bunch of stuff and throw it on a page and show you what I'm talking about. The garden swing, one of my favorite sets right now because that darn tree is so big, but wouldn't that be fun for outdoor? You could put the tree, on the edge and have the garden swing and then have your family just hanging out. Board games, this would be fun if you have something like that. If you just need generic, why not put the giant camera on here? It would be so fun, and have generic photos done. I feel like sometimes one of the things, when I'm looking at the new items that are coming out in the catalog, I get disappointed to see so many flowers, because I don't think of my pictures going with flowers all the time. I need some variety, but I like it in stamp sets, not necessarily paper, because I can make my papers fit almost any theme. But the stamp sets are what draw my name, because I could totally do a gardening theme on here. You would think I was crazy, but we're getting ready to buy our flowers and go to the garden center, and I always take pictures at the garden center because they're so beautiful. Everything looks so springy and so beautiful. And the photos, I love the photos of the empty planters with just the few sprigs of plants, and then 2 or 3 months later when they're all bloomed out and crazy, and a before and after of some of my planters is really kind of neat, you know what I mean? And there's no reason why you cannot make this work. This could be in these colors. You could make pots in rainbow colors along the bottom, and they have the different flowers and greenery that you can cut out in the colors that go with your page. So that's really cool. So I have all of these stamp sets, and you probably think it's crazy to buy so many, but I have all of these, and not a single one of them would not go. Now, Steve may not like it if I did his race car one on here, but it really does go. It does. It would work, completely work, because it's outside, it's super sunny, pictures of him in his car. This reminds me of like California, or like sometimes in the background you see lots of trees and greenery and stuff at the racetracks. I could totally make this work. And I don't know how he'd feel about having pink mats on his photos, but I think they wouldn't show a lot. I mean, see, they would hardly even show. Maybe I'll do it just to prove I can. You know what I mean? And not only that, but he's been teaching track driving events and coordinating the new membership get-togethers, and it would be great for that too. So anyway, that's what I have today, y'all. Look at that. That's a lot, right? I've shown you a lot of different things, a lot of different ideas. I hope that you have some inspiration. I sure have been. Obviously, I have been inspired to create. And part of that is like just going through my stuff. I get out a drawer and I go through things, and I'm getting rid of things I don't think I'll ever use again. And I'm keeping the ones that I think have, use in the future. And then I stumble on, the whole page pack of that dreaming set or whatever, And next thing you know, I'm like, instead of sorting, I'm putting together pages, because how fun is it to have like pages all made and ready to go? Look at that. I mean, just having naked layouts ready, So, all right. Have a great day. I've been on here for an hour. Yikes. I can never seem to make these short and sweet. It's so nice to spend the morning with you guys. If you have any questions, you want to see something again, or you have a request of something you haven't seen that you want to see, if I have it, I'll show it. So just message me. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.